The two bridges of different people. How Cha Eun-woo and Moon Ji-young found connection through their differences. When you look at Cha Eun-woo and Moon Ji-young, it's almost impossible not to get caught up in the magic they radiate together. One is known as the face genius of his generation, the man who seems almost too perfect for reality, while the other shines with an undeniable warmth, a grounding presence that makes her both approachable and unforgettable. Yet what makes their story even more fascinating isn't just their beauty or their fame. It's the fact that they are, in many ways, two very different bridges. One built on elegance, silence, and mystery. The other built on kindness, emotion, and warmth. And like two bridges crossing over the same river but from opposite ends, they find themselves meeting in the middle, creating a timeless connection that captures hearts everywhere. Cha Eun-woo's journey has always been painted in perfection. His striking visuals earned him the title of face genius, before he had even made his true mark in the acting world. Everywhere he goes, cameras follow. Every move he makes becomes newsworthy. But there's a price to this kind of beauty and brilliance. Distance. Eun-woo is often described as someone who seems untouchable, almost as if he belongs to a realm just slightly above everyone else. His carefully measured words, his calm demeanor, and his quiet way of carrying himself make him appear like a bridge of elegance, strong, reliable, yet almost intimidating in its flawlessness. And yet, beneath this surface lies a man who is constantly searching for balance. Behind the perfectly crafted image is someone who longs to be understood not just for how he looks but for how he feels. His bridge, though beautiful and grand, sometimes lacks the warmth of footsteps crossing it. He's admired from afar, but rarely does anyone venture close enough to see the fragility beneath his strength. In contrast, Moon Ji-young's path has always been lit by emotion. From a young age, she stepped into the world of acting and carried with her an innate ability to connect with people. Her strength doesn't come from perfection, it comes from authenticity. She wears her emotions openly, and in every role she takes on, she breathes life into characters with her softness, her laughter, and sometimes her tears. Ji-young's presence feels like a bridge made of warmth, perhaps not flawless or intimidating, but inviting. It's the kind of bridge that people trust instantly, one that welcomes you to cross with open arms. She has the gift of turning vulnerability into strength, of letting others feel safe enough to reveal themselves. While Eun-woo's bridge often feels admired but untouched, Ji-young's bridge is full of life, walked upon by people who find healing in her gentleness. At first glance, Eun-woo and Ji-young might seem too different to ever truly connect. One radiates perfection, the other warmth. One lives behind a polished image, the other thrives in raw emotion. But as with all stories of contrasts, the beauty lies in what happens when two bridges finally meet in the middle. When Eun-woo and Ji-young worked together, their differences didn't divide them, they balanced them. On screen, Eun-woo's composed, elegant aura became the perfect complement to Ji-young's natural expressiveness. Off-screen, her warmth softened his edges, and his steadiness gave her a foundation to shine even brighter. It wasn't about one bridge being stronger than the other. It was about two very different structures coming together to form one perfect path. A path their fans could walk across and feel something they couldn't explain in words. What makes Cha Eun-woo and Moon Ji-young's connection so captivating isn't just their undeniable chemistry, it's how they bring out the best in each other. Eun-woo, often distant and guarded, finds himself disarmed by Ji-young's authenticity. Her laughter, her honesty, and her warmth are things he cannot ignore. She, in turn, finds comfort in his quiet strength, his ability to anchor her even when emotions run high. Together, they embody the perfect balance between dream and reality. Eun-woo is the dream, the one who makes you believe in something extraordinary. Ji-young is the reality, the one who reminds you of the beauty in simple, heartfelt connections. And when these two forces meet, what emerges is nothing less than magic. Their story resonates because it mirrors something deeply human. We are all bridges, built differently, carrying our own burdens, our own designs. But when we meet someone whose differences align with ours, when two bridges connect, we create something unshakable, something that can withstand the tests of time. It's easy to talk about Eunwoo and Ji Young only as characters or celebrities, but the truth is, their appeal extends far beyond the dramas they star in. Fans see in them a reflection of real life, the reminder that love, friendship, and connection aren't built on similarities but on complementary differences. Eunwoo teaches us that it's okay to be reserved, to build a bridge that may seem distant, because in time, someone will come along who knows how to cross it. Ji Young teaches us that vulnerability is not weakness. It is the very thing that invites others to draw closer. Together, they prove that even two very different people can create harmony when they allow their bridges to meet. The story of Cha Eun-woo and Moon Ji-young isn't one that fans want to see end. Whether on screen in dramas or in the whispers of fans who dream of their off-screen connection, they have become a symbol of balance. A duo that shows us how opposites don't just attract, they complete. And perhaps that's why people continue to talk about them, to imagine their future, to revisit their moments together. Because their story isn't just about fame or beauty. It's about two bridges, so different in design, standing tall across the same river, eventually finding their way to one another. In the end, Cha Eun-woo and Moon Ji-young remind us that differences are not barriers, they are pathways. His bridge of perfection and distance, her bridge of warmth and emotion, together form a timeless crossing. They are proof that connection is not about being the same. It's about bringing together two worlds that, once joined, create something unforgettable. Theirs is not just the story of two actors, it's the story of what happens when two very different bridges finally meet in the middle, and in doing so, give us a glimpse of a love, a friendship, and a connection that feels eternal. If Part 1 revealed the striking differences between Cha Eun-woo and Moon Ji-young, his bridge of distance and perfection against her bridge of warmth and emotion, then Part 2 takes us further, into the places where those bridges don't just stand apart, but begin to bend, extend, and finally meet in unforgettable ways. Because what makes their story timeless isn't just how different they are. It's how those very differences create scenes so magnetic that fans can't look away. Imagine a quiet set at dusk. The crew is exhausted, the lights are dimming, and the air carries the fatigue of a long day. Eun-woo, ever the perfectionist, sits quietly in a corner, rehearsing lines under his breath. His posture is flawless, his gaze fixed, his world contained within the script. Then Ji-young steps in, laughing, carrying with her an energy that seems to reset the mood. She greets the staff, cracks a small joke, and even teases Eun-woo about how serious he looks. At first, his lips twitch, almost resisting. But then it happens, the corners of his mouth lift, his guard softens, and the crew watches in awe as his perfection makes space for her warmth. It's a small scene, but it's these details that reveal how two bridges of different people begin to connect, one offering steadiness, the other offering life. Fans often talk about that one moment in their drama together, the moment where fiction blurred with reality. In the story, Eun-woo's character tries to maintain control, refusing to let emotions take over. But Ji-young's character, raw and unafraid, confronts him with her vulnerability. The camera rolls and suddenly it's not just acting. Eun-woo's controlled demeanor cracks just slightly as he looks into Jung's eyes. She isn't just delivering lines, she's reaching across his bridge. He isn't just playing a role, he's letting her in. The staff felt it, the fans saw it, and from that day forward conversations shifted. Were they just acting, or had their two worlds really collided in that scene? Every bridge has its shadows. For Eun-woo, it's the heavy expectation of always being flawless. For Ji-young, it's the weight of always being open, of giving so much of herself to others that sometimes she forgets to protect her own heart. But when you look closely, you realize that their connection isn't about avoiding these shadows, it's about how they balance them. On days when Eun-woo feels the crushing pressure of perfection, Ji-young's presence reminds him that it's okay to breathe, to laugh, to simply exist without being perfect. On days when Ji-young feels drained by the weight of her vulnerability, Eun-woo's quiet strength reminds her that it's okay to lean on someone steady, to find safety in stillness. Their bridges don't erase the shadows. They make the shadows bearable. Perhaps the reason their story resonates so deeply with fans is because we all secretly long for this kind of connection. Don't we all want to find someone whose differences don't clash with ours but complement them? Don't we all wish for a person who walks toward us from the other side of the river, meeting us halfway? Fans see themselves in Jiyoung, the warmth, the vulnerability, the desire to connect. And they admire Eun-woo, the dreamlike perfection, the steady presence, the quiet mystery. But together they create something that feels both relatable and untouchable. Something ordinary yet extraordinary. It's not just about two actors. It's about the hope that even the most different bridges can still find a way to join. What makes the Eun-woo and Ji-young duo even more fascinating is the off-screen dynamic. Behind the scenes, there were moments that fans couldn't stop talking about. Eun-woo, usually so reserved, caught laughing uncontrollably at something Ji-young whispered. Aang, usually radiant, leaning into Eun-woo's quiet presence as though finding comfort in his stillness. The way they looked at each other, not scripted, not rehearsed, just instinctual. These whispers aren't just idle gossip. They are proof that when two bridges connect, even briefly, they create echoes that linger long after. Beyond the fan theories, the edits, and the endless replays of their scenes, Eun-woo and Ji-young's story teaches us something profoundly human. Eun-woo reminds us that strength can sometimes feel lonely, and perfection can be isolating. His bridge is beautiful but needs someone brave enough to cross it. Ji-young reminds us that vulnerability is a gift, and openness invites connection. Her bridge is welcoming, but she needs someone steady enough to meet her halfway. Together, they show us that true connection isn't about being the same. It's about letting your differences fit into someone else's gaps, creating a bridge that neither could have built alone. Their story may have started on screen, but the impression they've left is eternal. Whether it's the quiet balance of his charm against her warmth, the dramatic moments that blurred reality, or the behind-the-scenes whispers that fans will never forget, Eun-woo and Ji-young have become more than just a duo. They are two bridges of different people, crossing, connecting, and teaching us that sometimes the most powerful bonds are the ones that seem impossible at first glance. And maybe that's why their names continue to be spoken together. Because deep down, we all believe in the